Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend till the end. Heidi ho! Ha ha ha!
Did you know, the world's most infamous killer doll may have been inspired by a real object that people are still too afraid to disrespect, even today? Before Chucky ever whispered, "Wanna play?" Before Hollywood turned childhood innocence into a nightmare, there was another doll. Its name was Robert. And some believe the legend
Did you miss me? I'm here to play, and you can't escape.
surrounding Robert the doll may have planted the first seed of terror that would later grow into Chucky. But this story isn't just about a doll. It's about obsession, about belief, and about what happens when something meant to comfort a child becomes the center of something far darker. At the beginning of the 20th century, in Key West, Florida, a young boy named Robert Eugene Otto received a doll as a gift. It wasn't unusual. The doll was nearly life-sized, dressed in sailor clothing, with button eyes and a stitched smile. The boy named it Robert. And that's when things began to change. Servants in the house claimed they heard the boy arguing in his bedroom. But there was something unsettling about it. They swore they heard two voices. One was the child. The other was deeper. When confronted, the boy insisted Robert did it. At first, it sounded like a child avoiding blame. Until objects began moving. Furniture overturned. Whispers heard when no one was upstairs. And neighbors claimed they saw the doll, standing at the window, watching them pass by. Was it imagination? Or had something already attached itself to the toy? Decades later, in 1988, the horror film Child's Play introduced audiences to a new kind of monster. A serial killer named Charles Lee Ray transfers his soul into a good guy doll using a voodoo ritual. He cheats death. He survives. He refuses to let his story end. The character became Chucky. And what made Chucky terrifying wasn't just the violence. It was the concept. The idea that a human consciousness, filled with rage and evil, could be trapped inside something small, smiling, and seemingly harmless. But here's where reality bends into myth. The creators of the film have acknowledged that the concept of an evil doll was influenced by earlier cultural fears and legends, including real haunted doll stories. And Robert's legend was already deeply embedded in American folklore. Cause and effect. Urban legend spreads. Fear grows. Hollywood adapts it. And Chucky is born. But once the movie was released, something strange happened. People started writing letters to the museum where Robert the doll was kept. They believed the doll was angry. Today, Robert resides in a museum in Key West. Visitors are warned. You must ask permission before taking his photo. If you don't, bad luck may follow. And here's the disturbing part. The museum has received countless apology letters. From people claiming they experienced car accidents, divorces, financial ruin, nightmares. All after mocking or photographing the doll without permission. One visitor laughed at the warnings, unaware that he had just signed his death warrant, at least in his own mind. Days later, he claimed his life spiraled into chaos. Coincidence? Psychological suggestion? Or something else? The human mind is powerful. Belief can shape reality. Fear can rewrite memory. And that's where Chucky becomes more than fiction. Let's step back. In Haiti, there are documented cases of individuals believed to have been brought back through voodoo rituals. The most famous case is Clairvius Narcisse, who was declared dead in 1962 and later reappeared claiming he had been drugged and buried alive. Science suggests toxins may have been involved. But folklore tells another story. One of soul manipulation. Loss of control. Identity stolen. Now think about Chucky again. A man's soul forced into another body. Trapped. Conscious. Alive. The parallels are chilling. Did filmmakers borrow from these legends intentionally? Or was it subconscious, proof that certain fears are universal? The fear of losing control. The fear of death not being the end. The fear that something familiar is watching and thinking. Psychologists call it the uncanny valley. Objects that look almost human, but not quite, trigger discomfort. Dolls sit perfectly in that space. They resemble us. But their eyes don't blink. Their smiles don't move. And when placed in darkness, they seem to observe. Chucky weaponized that instinct. Robert amplified it. And together, they created a cultural archetype. The possessed doll. But here's the real twist. The more we tell these stories, the more powerful they become. Legends evolve through repetition. Fear spreads through suggestion. And suddenly, a simple toy becomes immortal. Chucky has survived sequels, reboots, and even a modern AI reinterpretation in Child's Play. Different origin. Different explanation. Same fear. He always comes back. And that mirrors Robert's legend perfectly. Attempts to destroy cursed objects often become part of the myth. Burn it? It survives. Lock it away? It returns. Mock it? You regret it. Immortality doesn't require magic. It requires memory. As long as people whisper the story, the doll never dies. So what's truly frightening? Is it a plastic doll wielding a knife? Or is it the idea that belief can manifest consequences so real, they reshape lives? The letters to Robert's museum are real. The documented zombie case is real. The psychological phenomenon is real. Chucky may be fiction, but the fear that fuels him isn't. And perhaps that's why he endures. Because he represents something ancient. The human refusal to accept death. The obsession with control. The terror of being trapped. So the next time you see a doll sitting silently on a shelf, ask yourself,
You think you're safe? Think again. I'm always watching. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
is it just plastic and cloth? Or is it a mirror? A reflection of the stories we tell, and the darkness we project onto it? Chucky didn't create the fear of living dolls. He inherited it. From whispered legends in old houses. From museum display cases filled with apology letters. From cultures that believe the soul is not so easily contained. And maybe that's the most disturbing truth of all. Because if stories can give life to monsters, then every time we repeat them, we keep them alive. Some fears fade with time. Others evolve. A doll cannot move on its own. It cannot think. It cannot hate. Unless we believe it can. And perhaps that's the real horror. Not that something is inside the doll, but that something is inside us. Watching. Waiting. And whispering softly in the dark. Wanna play?
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share. Thank you, my friend.